Can your marriage make it after an affair? Oh man, I wish I did not have to ask that question or attempt to answer it, but I really do. I'm not sure if you've ever been through infidelity, if your brother's been there, if your best friend is there right now. At our church right now, there are a whole bunch of heartbreaking cases of that commandment being broken. And I remember one guy who was unfaithful, and he said to me after the truth came to light, he said, "Pastor Mike, the most true thing you have ever said in any sermon was don't." I was preaching on marriage struggles and the temptation to infidelity, and I tried to just bluntly say, don't. This is so magnetic. I understand why some people who feel distant from their spouses are drawn to it, but please don't. And unfortunately, this man did. So how do you recover? How do you make it? Well, we have to admit, and maybe you know this if you've been through it, that sometimes a marriage can't make it. Sometimes it doesn't. There's a reason that Jesus, in his teaching on infidelity in Matthew 5 and Matthew 19, said that, we should stick together. God joined us together, except in cases of sexual immorality. Sometimes an affair is so devastating, we can't get past it. We can't trust each other again. And God is okay for Christians who have been cheated on to walk away from a marriage in that situation. But the original question wasn't, can you? The question is, can a marriage recover? If you both want to work on it, can you make it? And if so, how do you do it? Well, that's obviously a big question that takes a lot of time to answer, but here's my short answer to it. You are going to need time and work to rebuild trust. Let me say that again in the form of an equation. If you're going to trust each other again, if you're going to have the feelings that you used to have in the past, that kind of trust equals time times love times effort. You're going to have to do the work, and it's not going to work right away. Many counselors will say it takes 18 to 24 months just to feel a little bit of hope, just to not be triggered by every old memory. It's going to take more time. It's going to be like a marathon, and a lot of the miles are going to be grueling. So you have to prepare yourself for some long-term love. I have my Bible open right now to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, where it says, love is patient. And I pray that if you're there, God gives you the patience to own your sin, and then to own it again, and then to answer her questions, and then answer the question again. You're going to have to be patient to do the right thing, even though he's not thanking you for it because he's still so hurt by what you did in the past. You're going to maybe be a better wife than you've ever been before, and he's not going to applaud. He's not going to pat you on the back. He's going to be so wounded. He will expect that and so much more. You will have to be patient to work through this long process of letting those wounds heal. But I have seen, and I pray that God can see this in your marriage too, that over time, with enough love, that you start to trust each other again. That when your marriage is torn down to the foundations, you rebuild it again, except this time in a really biblical God. You talk about everything. You get everything on the table, and you work through it with your church community, with a good counselor, and with amazing friends. There are no guarantees. But here's what I know, that if a marriage is going to make it after an affair, it needs lots of time, patience, and lots of love. I pray that you can humble yourself, that God can give you the strength to forgive as you've been forgiven in Christ, and that you can humbly serve each other in the kind of love that over time rebuilds trust and keeps you together. May God give you every spiritual gift that you need as you work through this long process for your good and for his glory.
Hey, thanks for listening to Taboo Questions with me, Pastor Mike Novotny. You can find even more questions on timeofgrace.org/taboo questions and in my book entitled Taboo, Topics Christians Should Be Talking About But Don't. Just look for the link in the episode notes.